But every production needs its stage, and fueled by the popularity of Vesalius, universities across Europe began to build them. These were anatomy theatres, the origin of our term operating theatre, built not just to teach, but to entertain.
This is a place to be seen. It's a fashionable place. You come in here and the audience is observing who's here, who's come to the anatomy demonstration today. You know, I saw so-and-so at the dissection. The modern equivalent maybe of what we're seeing is going to the opera, is making a kind of a bit of an entrance, making a bit of a swirl as you come into the place, making sure that you're seen. It would have been extremely hot in here. I mean, imagine 300 people gathered in this space, all looking down onto this decomposing body. It's kind of ghoulish in a way. A table would have been placed over this central well with the head at one end, the feet at the other, and round the body the anatomists gathered. And the ways in which anatomies would often begin would be with a very formal pronouncement, which would go, "Our subject has been hanged. The anatomy will now begin."
Vesalius took anatomy on tour, packing in the crowds all over Europe, all at a very reasonable ticket price. Rival anatomy professors called him crazy and shameless, but Vesalius's tongue was as sharp as his scalpel. Of one he quipped, "He never used a knife except at the dinner table."
You have to imagine bits of entrail, bits of kind of viscera, bits of the internal organisation of the body, as it were, falling away from this slab onto the floor. There would have been this terrible smell of a decaying body. And to cover that incense, there had been this heavy, sweet smell mixed with this fusty darkness.
But you couldn't make anatomy the latest trend without a trick or two. Vesalius was all showman. His style of performance was more rock star than anatomist.
And at some point, the anatomist would go into the thorax and hold up the human heart and display it to the audience, rather like a kind of a bullfighter in a ring, holding up the ears of a bull. So here, from the opened human body, the heart is being displayed.
Vesalius delighted in the spectacle. He would even put on a blindfold and, when handed a piece of the body, identify it solely by touch. The anatomist knew exactly how to work his audience. The irony was, nothing was actually discovered in the anatomy theatre. The real work was always done behind closed doors.